What if I told you we're working harder for less than we've ever had? If you're new here, hey, I'm Slissa Gervils. Over here, we like to question everything, especially the polarizing figures and companies that shape our world. If that sounds like your vibe, then like and subscribe. Hustle culture. I'm sure you've never heard that term before. Glorifies overwork and relentless productivity, promising fulfillment but often leading to burnout, diminishing well-being, and a life defined by doing rather than being. The World Health Organization has actually found that working 55 plus hours a week is associated with a 35% higher risk of stroke and a 17% higher risk of dying from heart disease. Then when you add in all of the toxic hustle culture influencers into the mix, perpetuating the get up and grind mentality, it can be incredibly overwhelming. The issue not only lies in the glamorization of the nonstop productivity, but in the reality that excessive work hours will lead to burnout, therefore diminishing your job satisfaction and the quality of your personal relationships, making it increasingly difficult for individuals to find joy in their own personal achievements and just overall fulfillment outside of work. Now you may be asking, if we know all of this, then why do we continue to do it? And to that I say, hustle culture's roots trace back to the Industrial Revolution, where productivity and long work hours were linked to economic progress and social value. But in today's world, economic pressures have intensified the need to work harder. And over recent decades, essentials like housing, healthcare, and education have become far more expensive, while wages have stayed stagnant or at best seen minimal growth. It's no surprise that since the 70s, the cost of living, particularly surrounding housing, has exploded, while increase in wages has not been able to keep up in the slightest. The gap between living costs and earnings have pushed many to work multiple jobs just to maintain their standard way of life. In essence, it's not just hustle culture urging people to work more. It's a necessity born out of financial survival. Now I'm gonna get really personal here, and maybe I'll regret putting this onto the internet, but I don't care. I'm gonna just be real. I have a full-time corporate job that I have been at for 10 years now. And after taxes, I make just under $30,000 a year. I also live in Florida. Now, I'm not sure if you're all aware of what has happened to Florida over the last 5 years, but it has exploded in cost of living. The average rent in my area is over $2,000 a month. And that also requires that you can prove you make 3 times that, meaning I would have to prove that I make $6,000 a month to get into an apartment. Now, granted, yes, I'm sure most people live with someone or have roommates. Of course, that can ease the cost, but it's just me. And as I stated, after taxes, I make just under $30,000 a month, which translates to roughly $2,300 per month that I bring in. Now, let's say I got another full-time job making the same pay that I make now. I would still be $1,400 away from that 3 times your salary that's needed to get into an apartment. And don't even get me started on the price of a house in Florida. And this is coming from a single childless lady. So add in all of the other pressures and cost of living that most people have. Needless to say, many people are feeling the struggle. According to the US Department of Treasury, since 2000, housing costs have been rising faster than median household income to more than 20% above their 2000 level. Inflation-adjusted prices for single-family homes have risen even faster, with a large boom and bust leading to the financial crisis of the late 2000s, and then a particularly sharp increase in the years to follow the onset of the pandemic. Over the entire period, inflation-adjusted house prices rose about 65%, in contrast to inflation-adjusted median household income barely rose over that whole time period. This imbalance means that for many, working more is not just a choice, but a financial necessity. Now let's talk about the gig economy and freelance work. It's often celebrated for its flexibility and autonomy, but it has paradoxically reinforced hustle culture. Many people are drawn to the gig economy or freelance work because they don't want to work the typical 9 to 5, but many not realizing that the sad reality of that is you typically end up just working around the clock. And without traditional benefits like healthcare, paid time off, or job stability, many people find themselves taking on multiple gigs or side hustles to secure their income. And this increased reliance on freelance work has blurred the boundaries between personal life and work, creating a cycle of always being on. Another factor is the decrease in unionized jobs. In the past, unions offered workers stability, fair wages, and safeguards against burnout. But as union membership has fallen, those protections have weakened. And of course, social media plays a huge role in fueling the hustle culture, creating a space where productivity and side hustles are glamorized, displaying carefully curated snapshots of their daily grind, achievements, and the grind set mentality, often omitting the stress, exhaustion, and personal sacrifices that accompany this type of work ethic. By highlighting only their successes and productivity hacks, they create a polished and incomplete picture of what hustling actually entails, leading to many people feel like they're failing or falling behind if they're not constantly productive. And of course, the cycle is reinforced because of the social media algorithms, which rewards high engagement and visibility. And let's be honest, posts about hustle culture and productivity get a lot of likes, shares, and comments, which in turn compels the creator to continue posting in this vein. And for viewers, the constant stream of hyper productivity just amplifies the pressure to keep up. I've fallen victim to this countless times. Social media can make it seem like everybody is exceeding except for you. But the reality is, most of the time, those successful creators that you're seeing online are struggling just as much, if not more, than you. I have some really interesting stats to put things into perspective for you. Just 21.1% made $100,000 or more as of 2024. 3.16% made $250,000 or more in 2024. 0.8% made $500,000 or more. And only 462,544 people made a seven-figure income in 2024. That's less than 0.3% of the workforce in the US. A good income in the US is around $60,250, and a high income is considered $100,500. So the next time you try to compare yourself to these get-rich-quick millionaires, remember those stats that I just gave you. Hustle culture perpetuates the belief that hard work can lead to financial freedom and success, ignoring the systemic factors that hinder many from achieving this ideal. Income inequality has soared in the recent decades, with the richest 1% accumulating more wealth than the bottom 50% combined. In essence, while hustle culture champions hard work, it overlooks the reality where many are trapped in a system where success is not solely determined by effort, but it's also influenced by socioeconomic structures. Envision a world where success is measured by fulfillment and impact, not just hours worked, where we prioritize well-being over relentless hustles, and everyone has the freedom to pursue their passions without sacrificing their lives to make ends meet. What would you do with your life if success was measured by happiness and well-being rather than a paycheck? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button, and also hit the notification bell so that you don't miss a chance to question everything with me. As always, stay curious, stay skeptical, and question everything, even me. Oh yeah, and click here for the next perfectly curated video that I personally have selected just for you. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.